My name is Matt Conligiaro. I have the honor of serving as the chair of the Council of Sections this year. And on behalf of the council, let me thank all of you for being here. You are all bar leaders in many, many different capacities, and we also have many guests with us today from the bar. We are going to have a fantastic leadership conference. This is a great opportunity for everyone to get to come together, spend some time learning more about the bar and how we can each be more integrated with it and take on greater leadership roles as we go forward into this new bar year. First, let me be, I guess, one of many to thank all of you here who are bar leaders for all of the work that you do in the bar. And I'm sure this will be repeated again today, but it bears repeating. It is not easy to step away from your practice and your lives and help run a section or a division. It's not easy to get to these meetings. It's not easy to get to this leadership conference. And we are recording today for the benefit of those who couldn't make this conference. They'll be able to watch this online later. It is a sacrifice that we make, but it is an extremely worthwhile sacrifice. Bar leadership is so critically important to keeping what I guess you can call the ship moving forward. It is arguably easy to sit back and just think, wow, the bar's been here such a long time. Leadership has been in place for such a long time. The section has been here for such a long time. I just need to help keep it from going too far off course. Let me encourage you to take a different view from that. Think of your time in bar leadership as just a moment of opportunity, a chance for you to make a difference, whether it's in your section or your division or whatever area you're active in. Think of it as your chance to make a difference, to tweak something, to change something. Yes, the bar is a ship, and yes, it is moving forward, but you've got a chance to direct it a bit yourself during your time in the leadership. I came up through the appellate practice section leadership, and they probably wonder why I was there for so many years. I sort of had the remedial appellate practice leadership experience. They kept holding me back, and so it left me around a long time. But in my years with the appellate practice section's leadership, I was amazed at a few things. One, you really do have the opportunity to make some changes that are lasting. They may be big or they may be small, but you can do it. Two, it really helps to get a bigger sense of the bar as a whole. And that's part of what this conference is about, is getting to understand how the larger bar works. If you're spending a lot of your time in the sections, you may not appreciate even how many sections there are, let alone what they are and what they do. The more you learn, it was my experience at least, the more I learned about the bar and how extensive it is, how expansive it is, how many sections there are that have the same issues that you may have. Sort of the old saying, there's nothing new under the sun. It has some application in the bar. I suspect that the executive leadership within the bar would tell you that there's a cycle. I don't know if it's 3 years or 4 years or 5 years, but every so often the same issues tend to come up. They tend to come up because, well, they're the obvious issues. They're the things we all stumble upon. And it's important that we develop leaders who have seen these situations play out over time, who've seen them in their sections, maybe seen them in other sections, who carry on institutional memory, who understand the bar as a whole and know where to go to get questions answered, to understand things. As I was saying before, it's maybe sometimes a little too easy to let things just kind of go on, knowing it's all going to be okay. Harder is to get involved with the details, understand. A good example, the financials for a section. I remember the first time I was an officer in the appellate practice section, I became treasurer, which is a funny place to end up as the first sort of position in the track, because you get all these numbers and you think, what is all this? What do I do with all this? How do I read it and what does it mean? And inevitably, every meeting, someone seems to ask a question about what some line item means, and hopefully, eventually, you'll have the answers. And they're questions that every section has. They're questions that every treasurer has. And the more you learn about who to contact, where to go, what to do, the quicker you'll get those questions answered and the better a resource you'll be to your own section or your own division. So let me encourage you to take advantage of today. Let me encourage you to take advantage of the contacts and the resources that you're going to encounter through this conference and throughout your bar experience. And one last item. When you're finished with your time being a servant to your section or to your area, stick around. Don't go too far. Institutional memory is extremely important. To the extent we're doing things right, we want to keep on the right path. To the extent we've avoided mistakes, we want to keep avoiding them. And part of how you do that is by setting up an organization that keeps some sort of old knowledge around. So have that in mind as you plan your time as section chair or in whatever area of leadership you're going to be. How can you affect things, and how can you plan for the future so that the lessons you learn and the decisions you make get preserved and the knowledge gets preserved so that your successors will understand where you've been? Now today we've got a fantastic lineup of wonderful speakers and presentations. You're going to learn a lot about the bar, hopefully things you didn't know coming into today. And certainly you will leave this program with some insights and hopefully access points so that when you have questions, you'll know where to go.